Hello everyone, welcome to our Matwork Pilates class. For today's practice, you're not going to need any props or anything like that, just you and your body and maybe a yoga or Pilates mat. Today's class will be kind of a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more fast-paced, and a few extra exercises up off the mat. So a lot of times I like to really just work on the mat, but today we're going to do some standing up work, so that's really exciting. So grab anything that you need for your practice and meet me in all fours coming into our quadruped. So you want knees stacked under hips, hands just forward of the shoulders, and we'll just start by moving through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling, really opening up through the front body, and then exhaling, pressing the mat away as we round through the spine. So just keep going here, just flowing with your breath. And just getting really connected here to your breath, to your body. Let's just do a couple more rounds here, just because we can. One more round together. As we inhale, let's come back to center, back to a neutral spine. Now, before we move on, let's get nice and set up here with the core and the pelvis. So you want to draw the belly button up towards the spine, so you've got a nice engaged core. And then your pelvis is nice and stable, so you should feel like you can balance a cup of water at your lower back. Spine is nice and long, so you can just keep your gaze a bit forward of your hands here. Take an inhale here to prepare. And then as we exhale, let's shoot that right leg out behind us. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Let's go for 10. So we're just starting by warming up our body a little bit. So warming up here through the back of the right leg. Let's go for 4, 3, you might be feeling that already. I definitely am. Last one, let's hold at the top, baby pulses. We'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now from here we're going to round through the spine and extend. Knee to nose extend. Let's go 8 more times here. So just getting the core engaged now. So still drawing that belly button up towards the sky. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hold at the top and gently release. Beautiful. So we'll just even ourselves up and do that all again on the left side. Take an inhale here to prepare. Exhale, shoot that left leg up behind you. And then we'll tap and lift. We've got 8 more to go here, so just warming up now through the back of that left leg. You want to feel like you're lifting up from the left glute. Let's go for 3. Last one, and let's do some of those beautiful baby pulses. There might be a few of those throughout this class today. 3, 2, 1. Change it up now. Round the spine, extend. Rounding the spine, extend. We'll go 8 more times here. Make sure you're still breathing here. Let's go for 4, 3. Last one. Beautiful. Gently release. Have a little stretch back into your shell stretch. Just re-center here. Reconnect to your breath. And then inhale, let's roll on up through the spine. So we're coming back into quadruped. And then from here, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips up. We're actually going to come into downward facing dog just for a moment. And then from here, a little bend into the knees. Just start to walk your fingertips backwards towards the feet. And then rolling up very slowly, bone by bone, until the spine is long. Take an inhale here, exhale, tuck the chin, and we'll start to roll all the way down. Rolling all the way down, and then walk the hands out. We're going to come into a plank. So this is our inchworm exercise, so we're going to do that one again. Rolling all the way up to standing. Exhale, tuck the chin, round your spine, come all the way down. And walking out to your inchworm. All right, let's just do one more of those. Hopefully you're starting to get nice and warm by now. And let's hold our plank here for 10. So for your plank, you want to draw your belly button to spine. Press the mat away with the hands. Press the heels backwards to the back of the mat. Nice long line through your entire body. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bend the knees. Let's walk the fingertips back. Roll on up through the spine. How are we doing? Let's step the left foot forward. And the right leg is behind us. So coming into a bit of a lunge type position here. So for your lunge, you want to square your shoulders and your hips off to the front. Take an inhale here. We'll start to drop all the way down or towards the mat. And then exhale to press up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Let's keep going here. So really starting to fire up through those legs, particularly the back leg in this exercise. Let's go for 4 more here. So just making sure that your left knee is stacked over the left ankle here as well. Last 2. Last 1. Meet me down at the bottom here. We're going to do some baby pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Step forward. A little bit different now. So keeping that right knee bent. I'll just turn to the front so you can see. Keeping the right knee, that's the left knee, not the right knee bent. So this is our standing supporting leg, and this is where you're going to feel it from here. And what we're going to do now is step the right foot back and then forward, back and forward. So starting to move a little bit quicker here now. So you can take this at your pace though. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. If you feel like you can speed it up a bit, you're more than welcome to. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now let's turn to face the long edge of the mat now. And you want your toes out and the heels in. Hands to hips as option 1, or you can have the hands out in front. We're going to do a couple of little wide squats here. As we inhale, start to lower down. And then exhale, drive through the heels, come back up to the top. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Let's go for 10 of those. Bit of a theme going on here today. So when you drive up, really drive through those heels and give the glutes a little bit of an extra squeeze when you get up to the top. So really working those thighs, really working those glutes. Let's go for 3 more here. How are those legs feeling? Last one. Let's hold here. Couple of little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5. We're going to stretch it out here in a second. Last 2. 1. Stretch the legs long. Stretch the arms up. And then let's take a little side bend over to one side. Really stretch out through that side body. Inhale, let's come back up. Exhale, little side bend over to the other side. Inhale, let's come back up. Exhale, bring the hands through heart. Now what we're going to do is just swing around to face the other edge of the mat. So we've just changed sides now for the lunges. So the left leg is behind you and the right leg is leading. So again, just turn yourself to the front of the mat. Inhale, start to lower that back knee down, and exhale to lift. So let's keep going here. So again, just making sure the right knee is stacked over the right ankle. That back leg is really working here. Nice long spine. Let's go for 4, 3. Last 2. You know what's coming up next, some baby pulses. Let's hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now Step forward. We're going to change it up a little bit. So remember, the right knee stays bent so that we can step back and forwards with that left leg. Now you might be feeling okay with this pace here. You might want to really speed it up and go a little bit quicker. You do what feels best for you. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Turn to face the long edge of the mat again. Hands to hips this time. We're going to change it up a little bit with these wide squats. So you've still got the toes facing out. Now, as we inhale, we're going to lower down for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, up for 1. So playing with the tempo here. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and exhale, up for 1. So let's keep going here just for a few more rounds. Hope your legs are starting to warm up a little bit. I know mine definitely are. Let's do 3 more. Last 2, and you know what's coming up next. We'll do some baby pulses at the bottom. Let's just do 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Stretch out, stretch the arms out as well. Let's come for that little side bend to one side. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, let's take a little side bend over to the other side. Inhale, let's come back to center. Exhale, hands to heart, little bend into the knees, step forward. And then tuck your chin down and we'll start to roll all the way down to the mat. And then walk your feet back, so you're going to come into plank. And remember, you can drop to the knees at any time for plank as well. Just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And now just press back into your shell stretch just for a moment. Have a little break here. Recenter here, reconnect to the breath. One more big breath here together. And as we inhale, just roll on up. We're going to come back over onto hands and knees. Now you can either stay here on the palms of the hands. If your wrists start to get a bit sore, know that you can always come down onto the forearms for this one. If you do come down to the forearms, so just make sure you're not slouching down through the shoulders. So you're lifting up and out of the shoulders, nice long spine. Alrighty. So we're going to come into our little donkey kicks from here. Take an inhale to prepare, core switched on, pelvis is nice and stable. Exhale, start to drive that right heel up towards the sky. Inhale, draw the knees together. Exhale, lift that heel. So let's keep going here. If it feels more comfortable for you to point the toes here, you're welcome to as well. Let's go for 4, 3, really lifting up through that right glute here. When we get to 1 at the top, let's hold for some pulses, of course. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now come back to center and changing it up a little bit. So we're just going to come out to the side, back to center, out to the side, back to center. Let's go for 5, 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Gently release. We're going to come straight over to the other side now. Coming over to the left leg. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift that left leg up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Let's keep going here. So again, just making sure you're really lifting up through that left glute. Let's go for 5. So you can either point the toes here, or you can flex the foot, really drive that left heel up to the roof. Now let's hold at the top here and do some baby pulses, really just getting into that left glute now. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center. Let's go out to the side and center, out to the side, center. Just a couple of little reps here. Last 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Gently release. Let's have a little stretch out here just for a moment. Just recenter here, reconnect to your breath. As you inhale, just slowly roll on up. Come on up to a seat. Okay, so now you're coming over onto your sit bones. And you've got your legs out in front, so you just want to make sure you're nice and high on those sit bones. The spine is nice and long. And let's float the arms out in front of us. As we inhale, we're going to lean back and rotate around to one side. Have a little stretch out. Inhale to center. Exhale, let's rotate to the other direction. Inhale to center. Exhale. So let's keep going here. So getting some beautiful rotation here through the spine, getting into those obliques, these side abdominals there. Let's go for 2 more on each side. All right, coming back to center. Now, so we're still up high on those sit bones. We've still got a nice long spine. And just take a hold of the underside of the thighs. So we're going to float those feet up off the mat. So this is option 1 to stay here. Option 2 is to float the arms away. So if you feel like that's available for you today, you can totally take that option. But otherwise, just stay here. So keep opening up through the heart. Keep breathing. Really working those abs here. Hopefully you're not feeling it too much in those hip flexors. Just 1 more big breath. And then we're going to fold forward. So dropping those knees out wide, folding forward, and just have a little rest here just for a moment. One more big breath. Inhale, let's roll on up through the spine. I'm going to do 1 more round here. So up nice and tall on the sit bones here again. Take a hold of the back of the thighs and then let's rock back onto those sit bones, float the feet up. So remember, option 1 is to stay here. Option 2, you can float the fingertips away. If you wanted to play around with tapping and lifting the feet, you're welcome to here. Whatever feels good for you. Let's just do 1 more round here. And then we'll flop forward, coming into our little butterfly stretch. Just 1 more deep breath here. Inhale, roll on up through the spine. Come on up to sitting. If you need to, you can just shoot your bottom forward a little bit so that you've got enough space to come all the way down onto your mat. And just have a little moment to rest here. And then when you're ready, let's roll on over to one side. And you can either cradle your head in your hands here or stretch that arm long and just rest your head down onto your bicep. Now we've got the knees bent. We'll start with our traditional clam here. So before we begin, you want to feel like you're gently lifting up through that side waist. The hips are stacked 1 on top of each other, and then you've got your core nice and switched on. Now you can have that hand to the hip, or you could have the fingertips grounded in front of you for a little bit of extra support. And then glue those heels together. Take an inhale here to prepare, and then exhale. Let's lift that top leg up. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. So just starting with our traditional clam. Doesn't take too long at all, and then you really start to feel it in that top glute, which is where we're working. Just make sure that that glute is actually working and switched on. Let's go for 3 more. Last 2. When we get to 1 at the top, we'll do a couple of little baby pulses, of course. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we'll float the feet up off the mat, coming back into our clam. So exactly the same movement, but we've just got the feet lifted up off the mat. So there's a little bit more instability, which makes our core have to work a little bit harder. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Just drop those legs down and then stretch your legs out long. So a little bit different this time. Now from here, let's just float that top leg up, and then we're going to move into a bit of a bicycle type movement with the leg. So you start to bring that knee up to the chest and then press that foot back. So you want it to be a nice, fluid and controlled movement here. After a while, that top leg might start to feel a little bit heavy, so just go with it, go with whatever happens here, and getting that beautiful working here through the glutes in our practice today. Alrighty, so from here we're going to float the top leg up a little bit higher now, and then we'll start to do some circles here, so circling around in one direction. Try to keep everything switched on and not rocking and rolling around too much here. Just be really mindful of that. And then we'll come around in the other direction. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Gently release and just give that glute a little bit of a tap here. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch straight on over to the other side. So you can just roll over. I'll just switch over so I can keep facing the camera. Okay, so coming all the way over to the other side, again you can cradle your head in your hands or just stretch that arm out long and rest your head down onto your bicep. And we'll start with our clam series again. So just have that slight lift of the side waist here, hips are stacked on top of each other, core nice and switched on, and we've got the feet or the heels glued together. And we'll go straight back into that clam. So you might feel like this leg starts to fatigue a little bit more quickly than the other side. Maybe not. Just see how you go, how you're feeling here. Squeezing that glute at the top. Let's go for 4, 3, 2. When we get to 1 at the top, we'll do a couple of baby pulses. Your legs will be really feeling this by this stage. And then gently release, but then float the feet up and come straight back into your floating clam. So as we're moving around before, like I mentioned, just make sure that the core and pelvis stays nice and stable. Let's go for 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Beautiful. Gently release and just stretch those legs out long now. We're going to come into that bicycle movement. So you can either have both legs long. If it feels a bit better for you to have the bottom knee bent for a little bit of extra stability, you're welcome to as well. And we'll start to draw that knee to the chest and then flex the foot and press it away. So again, just really try and make it a beautiful, flowing, fluid movement here. Trying to keep that leg the same height all the way across as well. Let's keep going here for a few more rounds. Let's do 4 more. Last 3, 2 to go. Last 1, and then let's float that top leg up a little bit. And then we'll start to do some circles. So they can be as big or as little as you want, just keeping the core nice and switched on here. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll circle around in the other direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Gently release. Tap out that glute if you need to. And then we're going to roll all the way over onto our back. And if you need to, you can just take a little rock and roll here from side to side. And we'll just do a quick little glute stretch before we transition into our abdominal work. So you can cross your right knee over the left right ankle over the left knee. I'm getting all mixed up today. And you can either stay there, or if it's available, you can pull those knees into your chest. Just getting that really strong, beautiful stretch out through that right glute. You might even just wriggle it around a little bit until you get that sweet spot in the pose. One more deep breath. And then you can start to gently release and come out, and we'll change sides. So remember, you can stay here, or you can draw those knees to the chest. And just breathing and releasing out through that left glute now. Just one more breath here. And then gently release. Okay, let's come into some abdominal work before we finish off our practice today. So we'll just bring the arms down beside us, and we're going to come into some reverse curls. So from here, what we're going to do is just float the feet up off the mat, and then slightly lift your lower back up off the mat as well. So you can tap the toes down and then lift, tap and lift. So we're going to keep going here for a few more rounds. So for this exercise, we're really targeting the lower abdominals. And you can probably already feel that here as well. Make sure you're still breathing the whole time. Just being aware of your lower back, making sure that the back isn't starting to take over the exercise. Let's do 2 more here. Last one. And then bringing the feet back into tabletop, arms beside you, and we'll just start to drop the knees over to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, drop the knees to the other side. Inhale to center. Let's just do once more to each side with the breath. All right, let's come back into those reverse curls again. So get your core nice and switched on, and then we'll start to tap those toes and lift. Hopefully you're feeling those abdominals really working quite strongly here. Let's go for 5 more here. Breathing, staying present. We're getting closer to the end. We made it. Last one. Just hug the knees into your chest. Maybe have a little rock and roll here from side to side. Drop those arms out wide and drop the knees to one side and then the other, so you can just spend as much time on each side as feels good for you. All right, let's come back to center. And then just grab a hold of the underside of your thighs, and we're just going to rock forward and backwards on the spine a few times, just making sure you don't go past your shoulders up onto your neck. And then if you get enough momentum, you can roll yourself all the way up, flop the knees out to the side, and we'll just fold forward and have a few breaths here in our butterfly. Might even like to close your eyes down here. One more deep breath. And then inhale, roll on up through the spine. Just come into a cross-leg position. And then we'll just come into a little twist to one side. Take a little look over your shoulder. And then inhale, rotate back to center. Exhale, have a little look over the other shoulder. Inhale, coming back to center. Just take a little neck roll here around in one direction and then the other. And that is us all done for this practice today. So thank you so much for joining me for our Pilates practice together, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll